That's how we'll fucking do it.
Are we recording?
I am, yeah.
Oh, cool. All right. Second episode of, I guess, Los Jerkos is what we've decided on, or I've decided on. I just kind of did it without any full support, but I did it.
No full support. The consensus was everyone on one side, Nate on the other.
Yep. Everyone hates the name. I think I can live with that. You know, Jesus said, just remember the world hated me first, so fuck you guys.
Wait, is that real?
Yes, it's real.
Oh my god.
So thank you, Jesus.
The
Lord
real
Jesus.
the real thug.
Yeah, buddy.
Jesus.
Flipping tables and shit. All right. So I'm Nathan.
I'm Travis.
What are you smoking, Travis?
I'm smoking the 20 Acre Farm by Drew Estate. It's a lighter cigar. I'm trying to keep it mild starting out in the beginning. I got a long day of smoking ahead of me. I'm usually knocking out 4 cigars in a shift, and I got a long shift. So 20 Acre Farm by Drew Estate, Ecuadorian, Connecticut, Honduran, Nicaraguan. It's just a real light, cedary cigar. I mean, it's pretty basic. It's not super complicated, not super intense, but a really good profile for a morning cigar. You can have it with coffee, you can have it, tea. So yeah, I'm just going deep in this 60 ring gauge 20 Acre Farm.
So what are you drinking with it?
I'm literally drinking water. I'm drinking a Liquid Death. We're not sponsored. I'm drinking a Liquid Death. It's the root beer one that they just came out with. So I'm not sure how I feel about the flavor combination, but we're gonna roll with it and see what happens.
Sweet.
What are you smoking?
I'm smoking the Placensia Alma Del Fuego. One of my favorite sticks. I decided it's a medium to full, and instead of just going with something lighter in the morning here, I decided to just smoke something I really enjoy for this episode here.
Yeah, you went deep in it.
Yeah, I really like the Alma Del Fuego. It's got a sun-grown wrapper from the Jalapa Valley. It's got some Ometepe in the mix. It's Nicaraguan Puro. I think it's all around a great cigar. It's got a little more kick and spice to it than the Fuerte, which is something I appreciate. And hell, since I kick caffeine, it's giving a good little kick in the morning here.
Yeah, I'm looking for a gentle, silky, smooth, just a nice, gentle wake up. And you want hot and sweaty. It sounds like so.
Mm-hmm. Ooh,
that's where we're at this morning.
Yep, fantastic. How do you rate your cigar? What are your thoughts on that cigar totally? Is that a one you consider to be a favorite, or is it just a great Connecticut for the morning?
At first, I hated this cigar. I avoided it. I smoked it once. Didn't like it. I'm not huge on cedar being a profile in general. But I'm coming around to it. At first, I really hated this cigar, and as it sat and aged with that time, it's turned into a cigar that I actually enjoy. I don't know if it's something I'd smoke regularly, but I find that there's very few Drew Estate cigars that I avoid. There are certain brands I avoid. Drew Estate's not one of them. I mean, maybe besides the acids.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a Drew Estate cigar that I'm like, oh god, I need to stop smoking that. This was one
Same.
of them, and I completely changed my mind and like it. It's with the age, it's turned into just a really good Connecticut cigar.
I may have to revisit it. The thing that got me about that cigar is I was really, really looking forward to that cigar. With all the dark stuff that Drew Estate was putting out around that time,
Yeah.
a lot of the Maduros and everything, and the dark, heavy cigars, that was something I was looking forward to. I had very high hopes for the 20 Acre, and when I smoked one, I was pretty let down. But hearing you mention that it's, with some age, it's a good Connecticut. It's sounds like it, with the proper settle time, it could be tried and true. So
I'm still
I may
waiting
revisit.
for a Connecticut Liga Privada. I still think that needs to be a thing. Just a real heavy, like Connecticut wrapper, heavy punch you in the face filler.
Mm-hmm.
For that Liga Privada line, they got the H99. That's like their
Corojo,
sun grown. Let's get a Connecticut Liga Privada. Come on, Drew.
Yeah, no, I agree. And actually, I think right now would be a great time for them to do that, considering that they took the Metallica M81, the blackened cigar, and put a Connecticut wrapper on that.
Yeah.
The what is it called?
The S84.
S84. So if you're doing that and you've put a shade, a while back on the undercrown, yeah, let's see a Liga 9 with a Connecticut on.
I mean, they could use the same wrapper for the 20 Acre Farm. Just jam it with all the Liga Privada fillers.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to be opposed, but yeah.
You hear that, Jonathan Drew? You fucking Slurms McKenzie?
And Swisher, we gotta.
Oh yeah.
We gotta put Swisher. Come on, Swisher. Come on, help us out, man. I know you like
the real guy to talk to is probably Willie Herrera.
I know you really like flavored shit, but I really need you to come out with a Liga Privada that's Connecticut. Oh, I didn't give my rating. My rating, I would say, when I first tried it, probably, if we're doing out of 10, I'd do probably a 2 or 3 out of 10. I just didn't like it at all. Now, I'd probably say, out of Connecticut's, I'd probably say it's up there, 7, 8. It's definitely up there. That's reasonable. It's not going to blow you away. It's not going to be anything amazing. But I've had people that don't smoke cigars very often. They only smoke Connecticut's. I introduce them to this, and they think it's the best thing in the world. I think it's just a nice, consistently decent, middle of the road cigar. Not bad. 7, 8. What do you rate in yours?
How much do they go for right now? I honestly haven't paid that. Even though I work in a shop here, I don't even pay attention to them. What are they? $15 a piece?
Yeah, around there. I mean, I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, somewhere around that, like 12 to 15. So not terrible. I mean, this is the 60 ring gauge, so it's probably a little bit more.
Yeah.
Probably closer to that 15 range, but not a bad cigar. What do you rate in yours?
8 out of 10. I mean, that's just.
You just said that was one of your favorite cigars.
It's one of my favorites.
I got an 8 out of 10.
You know how many favorites I have?
Yeah, but
and
this is
none of them. So, like, listen, man.
This is pure pressure.
I'm like half wheel and cigar aficionado. Nothing actually gets 100. The only things that get 100, they have to fuck. My fucking wig needs to be legit blown back off the top of my nugget.
Well, shit. Okay, so.
And so far, there's not really any cigar that's straight blown my wig back like that. There's a lot that I love.
I'm gonna have to. It's like, if that's your favorite cigar at an 8, then I'm gonna go 6 or 7 for this.
That makes more sense.
I gotta be a little more. I guess I gotta be a little more strict on my grading policies.
Well, it seems to be the trend. I mean, half wheel. I think the highest score anybody's got on half wheel may have been 96. I don't, and same with Cigar Aficionado. I think the highest they've ever given somebody is a 94, something like that. There's nothing that actually is like, this is 100%. Which is kind of puzzling to me why there isn't anything that's 100%. I guess we all love cigars, but there hasn't yet to be that one cigar for anybody that's like, that is phenomenal.
Well, they just don't have the right amount of money to make it $100. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Make
you hear that?
Make it 100 points.
If this podcast get big, we'll be doling out hundreds, motherfucker.
Hand out some cash.
100.
And we'll give you 100.
100, baby.
Turns out there is a price.
But this is 8 out of 10 for me. I don't know. I scoring it. It's price a factor, because here's the thing. Price is a factor to me. I know Half Wheel doesn't make price a factor, and I'm Cigar Aficionado doesn't seem to make price a factor when they're scoring their stuff. But price is a factor to me. These are fantastic, but this Toro here, I believe it's $18, $19.
Yeah. The prices have gone up.
That is too much, in my opinion. I love this fucking cigar. And every time I buy them at a discount, whether it's my employee discount here at the lounge, or I find a website that has them and I use their discount. If this cigar being one of my favorites, if I was smoking this for $10, this was a $10 smoke, it'd easily be 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
But the price does affect me. It does matter to me. So if I ever do get around to me reviewing cigars for some fucking reason, I don't think I will, but if I did, I'm going to make price a factor. So all these cigars that are being dropped that are $50, $100 a pop, I mean, fucking Oliva dropped a cigar that is simply the Oliva V, and it's in a Perfecto,
size,
and it's $300 a stick. Granted, some of it's going to charity, but that's too much. You should have done more than that. And so if I was rating that cigar without even having smoked it, you get a fucking 0, because that's just insane. I don't care that it is for a charity. You can call me cold-hearted or whatever.
Yeah, Nate's the kind of guy that goes and reaches into the charity bucket to take money out.
That's fucking right. A little Nathan Foundation. Help me out, guys. I need more cigars.
Fuck everyone. Help me out.
Help me out. I got a habit that I can't kick.
It's a hobby. We keep using
hobby.
the bad word.
Sorry.
Jeez.
My bad.
It's not a habit. It's a hobby.
So where's your favorite place to do your hobby? Not your habit, but your hobby. Where's your favorite place?
Wait, we're talking about cigars, right? Or no?
Let's keep this a cigar podcast.
I was gonna say I find a car for certain other hobbies. That's a good question. Honestly, outside, anything outside, like bonfire. We're still talking about cigars, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because that qualifies for everything.
You like smoking near a bonfire?
I do. As long as I'm not, depends on how lucky I am for seat choices. If I'm sitting in a seat where the smoke's blowing directly into my face, then probably not.
Yeah.
But like, I like being outside. I don't know. I think, and I've mentioned this before. I know lounges are supposed to be a certain aesthetic. I know lounges are supposed to be kind of like dark and cozy and whatever, and I like that aspect of them. But man, cigar lounges, sometimes you just want windows. You want to sit outside on a patio. I mean, I know where my favorite place, beach. I'm a big beach person, big ocean person. I love, like, it goes into the joke. I love, like, Miami, smoking a cigar.
Mm-hmm.
I would say.
For those that don't know, Travis had told me around when I first met him, he told me that he just has a penchant for cigars that either say Miami on them or are from Miami.
I've just never had a bad one that says Miami on it. And I had made an offhanded comment about it.
And we're on a Discord we're on, some guys were making a joke. A lot of Will Smith gifs were posted, and it was just funny. So
I've just never had a bad cigar that had Miami. I mean, Tatuaje Miami was one of my favorites for a while. Whereas Esteli makes a Miami, or well, if it's discontinued, then they made a Miami. They're always good. They're always consistent.
Yeah, I gave you that Padilla Miami.
The Padilla Miami. There was another one that I had smoked for a while, like regularly. That was a Miami. They just never had one that was bad. And then spending my entire 20s in Florida, like smoking a cigar on a beach outside.
So yeah, Miami is your favorite place to smoke a cigar that has Miami on the bin.
Yeah. A beach would probably be my favorite place to smoke a cigar.
Yeah. Real okay. For me, anywhere they'll let me.
That's a cop-out.
That's not a cop-out. Anywhere they'll fucking let me. If I could smoke everywhere. If I could just smoke everywhere, I don't give a fuck if it's going to the hospital. My wife is in the hospital. I need to go see her. They let me walk in there to see her.
Blowing smoke in doctor's faces.
Yeah. You know, if I could smoke anywhere, that's where it would be. It'd be anywhere. That would be my favorite place.
Your favorite time period to smoke is the early 90s.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Can we go back to that?
You don't have a favorite place, you have a favorite time period.
Yes.
I fucking remember being a kid and there's in the 90s it's like, oh, you want to go to Pizza Hut? Everyone's fucking smoking cigars and smoking cigarettes and eating pizza. You go anywhere, there's a smoking section and non-smoking section. So you just want to live back in the 90s.
Back in the day, yeah, give it to me.
Before Cobain shot himself.
When I go to Walmart and I'm people watching, I'm like, man, this would be a great time to smoke a cigar.
It'd be a great time to smoke at a Walmart.
It's people watching, yeah. Yeah, man. And that, to me, anywhere. But I guess climate also goes into it. I don't like too hot, so like the reason I was a little surprised by bonfire is sometimes I feel like...
Or beach.
Or beach. I get too fucking hot, the cigar gets too hot, the smoke gets too hot for my liking. But also, that might also be for me just puffing the hell out of it because I'm enjoying myself in that scenario that I'm just...
But it also kind of goes into another topic that I've mentioned before, like favorite thing to drink with a cigar. For me, coconut water I think is severely underrated. That is my favorite thing. Coconut water and coffee are my two favorite things that go with a cigar. And then anything with rum in it. Like a beach rum drink or coconut water or like it all goes hand in hand. So it's the entire experience for me. Yeah, it's hot. It is what it is. But like it doesn't bother me anymore. Whereas like too cold, I'm fucking shivering and I'm going, God, I just fucking want to get this done so I can go back inside.
I can't smoke in too cold weather. Not anymore.
You need climate control.
I need climate control. I don't like too hot. I don't like too cold.
Like a zoo enclosure where you're just sitting in a fucking cage.
Well, I mean,
smoking cigars and watching people.
There was a trail out here that I really enjoyed. You get like top of the hill on the trail out here in a nice fall weather where out here in Tennessee it's not too hot, it's not too cold.
Yeah.
Perfect temperature in my opinion. Just sitting there overlooking a nice view. It's fantastic.
I feel like you should be able to smoke anywhere outside. I can understand why some places like a hospital wouldn't want you smoking in them.
We're privileged in Miami. They passed like no smoking laws for outdoors, but cigar smokers can still enjoy a cigar on the beach or wherever.
I think that's a big because I've been hiking before where people have complained about smoke, like my wife and I smoking cigars while we're just walking and hiking, and it's like we're outside. Like, what do you want from us?
Yeah. Hey, pull out your phone and check the fucking humidity.
You can't get any more ventilated than being fucking outside. I can't help you with that.
Right. And like, I get it if you're like out in fucking Arizona or somewhere on the West Coast where it's really dry. Somebody kind of like, hey, what the hell?
No, that's weeding them out.
We're pretty.
It's called population control.
Might be too soon to be making this joke, dog.
I'm just living up to our title.
Good shit. Yeah, anywhere and everywhere. That's what it is. It's not a cop out.
It's still a cop out answer.
It's not a cop
It's
out. What? Okay. So.
Okay, so let's say, gun to your head, pick a spot right now, fucking smoke.
Right now.
Right now. Right here next to your buddy Travis. Hey.
Yeah. This is. Right.
No one likes a kiss ass. Pick a different one.
That was a good one. I was gonna go with that, but if you got a gun to my head, I'll go with something else, sir. Fuck.
You see how it's a cop out? If you don't have an answer for a gun to your head,
well, okay, so no,
out?
like if on top of a fucking mountain or a good sized hill, overlooking everybody, you know, because I like to look down on people. And what better vantage point to do it from than on top of a mountain or a hill?
Like the little ad on top of a mountain, or just like a really big hill. Really detailed now. All of a sudden, it got super detailed.
Well, I got a gun to my head,
or maybe like a mound, maybe like a burial site.
Good-sized mound.
As
long as people are below me, though.
As long as people are below me. So like a burial mound.
Yes.
That's fucked up.
Good shit.
For the ancestors.
All right, man. Well, let's move it on here. What's give me your best and your worst cigar related experience.
Oh fuck.
Best first, worst second.
You might have to go first on this one. I don't fucking.
All right.
You probably have those stories. I don't know. That's a good question.
I got it. So, best experience for me. I had the M. Bombay Mayura, and I convinced my woman to let me finally smoke in the fucking house. She don't like me smoking in the living room and stuff. I'm fine with that, but I convinced her to let me smoke in the house, and I decided I was going to take a bath while smoking this fucking Mayura. I took a sweet bubble bath. My nuts were floating in the
had a
tub.
whole sexual experience.
It was fucking fantastic. That Mayura was so delicious.
Yeah.
It was an excellent smoke. I mean, I was at peace, man.
Slightly homoerotic.
Had some Epsom salt in the fucking tub, non-scented Epsom salt.
Deep throat and a glizzy of a cigar.
Yeah, and that fucking Toro Mayura is a glizzy too.
Oh my
It was, man, it was fantastic.
You lit some candles, played
I
some...
did. Yo, I went all fucking out. I don't give a fuck. You call me whatever.
Your wife is sitting outside of the door going, this motherfucker hasn't wined and dined me.
No. I made her leave the house. Baby, you go figure out something else to do. I got some fucking business to attend to.
Oh my god. She's literally like, I've never had a candlelit bath in my life.
Kids.
This dude's having an experience right now.
Get the kids and you guys go out.
Yeah, she had to leave with the kids because you orgasmed halfway through and she had to get everyone out.
Yeah, no, that was a great experience. That was probably my best experience with a cigar.
It sounds like it. Holy shit. Take it out to dinner first.
No. She, it's funny too. She's fucking makes fun of me for how much I enjoy cigars and shit. She straight up woke up one morning. She made her hear my dream, and I said no. And she told me anyway.
I'm on my hill.
She told me anyway. She's like, I had a fucking dream that you were listening to this Oliver Tree song.
She loved me more than cigars.
Well, yeah, you were listening to this Oliver Tree song. I forget how the fucking song goes, but she's like, you're laying on the bed with all your cigars surrounding you, and you're like whispering to them. And I was like, baby, that wasn't a dream.
That wasn't a dream, that was real. That was real.
Yeah, so all right, the worst experience I've had.
God, if that was the best, I can't wait.
The worst experience I've had.
When you had to boof cigars to get them over the border.
Yeah, man. I've done it too. You want to know how I kept them straight up there?
It's really hard to get the latex flavor off of them after you take them out of the condom.
Yeah, man. No, it's all in tubos. You don't want them to break up there.
Like a
Jesus
Pez dispenser
fuck.
at that point.
You know, that wouldn't work for me. When I was constipated one time, I even tried to use a baby suppository, and my butthole was just like, whoop! Would not stay up in there, so I couldn't
Where
put
have
a
we
fucking
gone?
tubo.
Where have we gone?
Anyway, the worst moment was that time I put a tubo. No. The worst moment was, this is going to sound cliche, but I don't give a fuck because it's true. Gurkha is a bad brand. A really bad brand. The worst cigar experience I had was
Gurkha, please sponsor us.
I was like, it was around when I was first smoking, so this was like late 2013, early 2014. And I'm out on my porch and I'm smoking a Gurkha. I want to say it was the Beauty or something like that.
No, I didn't even like that. There are some Gurkhas I can tolerate. That one was just dog shit all around.
Yeah, it was dog shit. But then, so to top it off, as I'm smoking this fucking thing, you know how like you'll feel the stem at the end of a cigar, like poking you in the lip, and you're just kind of like, okay, this is annoying. I gotta pull it.
Yeah.
So I go to do that, and I pull out, and it wasn't a stem that I pulled out. It was a fucking big long chicken feather.
Oh yeah, you told me this story before, yeah.
So I'm sitting there smoking this fucking cigar, and it's got a huge ass chicken feather in it.
That's definitely top weirdest thing. I think also a nail. I've seen someone pull a nail out of their cigar
That's really
before.
fucked too.
Yeah.
Shit. I hope they get a tetanus shot. I don't know how that works out. Would you need a tetanus shot if that was a rusty ass nail?
It was
there
like just
puffing
it
on
was all charred and everything. It was actually a dude here, his son. So
was it a cigar from our lounge?
I believe so. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, we had contacted him.
Do you know what brand? Boy, that's a great thing to fucking put out there for the internet to know. Hey, brand, you fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, so I took a picture. I sent it. Can't remember the brand, to be honest with you. That was friggin' 2-3 years ago. I can't remember the brand. I took a picture. I pulled it out of the cigar. Took a picture again. Sent it to the owner, and he goes, "Oh, that's fucked up," and instantly sent out an email. And I believe the rep or the guy at the company like reached out to that person, but I don't know all the details because I didn't have to handle all the fucking political shit that went with it. But
that's fucked. So yeah, you can find things in your cigars, and it's a really awkward experience when you do.
Yeah, they're handmade, so it's like
they're handmade. But who's the cocksucker putting this stuff in there? What the fuck, bro?
they just go so fast sometimes.
Yeah, that you just pick up a nail.
You pick up a chicken
feather and throw it in that bitch. What?
First
off,
feel
no,
like that's
what?
weird.
Like,
that's weird
where
that
the
there's
fuck-
chickens in the
That's
fucking
what
building.
I'm saying. Why are
A nail is reasonable. The boxes have nails, and I'm like, the nail, not reasonable, but the nail is
more feasible to be in there
there's
than a
an
fucking chicken feather?
Yeah, there's an excuse.
You guys are like, I get that tobacco's grown on a farm, but is it rolled on the fucking farm too? What the hell is going on?
Oh yeah, and even if it is a farm, it's not a farm. It's not like with fucking chickens roaming about.
Well, I've heard some companies do have like their whole farm. Like,
Well, yeah, but chickens are in a fucking pen. They're not
true,
rolling
yeah.
around the fucking tobacco fields.
it might be
Maybe.
free range, free range chickens.
Free range tobacco chickens.
You know,
They
fuck,
keep
that'll
all the
be my
bugs-
chickens
they keep
come
all the
this
bugs
spring.
away.
I'm gonna try to grow some tobacco in the backyard. We'll see what's up. But anyway, all right. So we got off on a tangent there. What's your best and worst?
Oh man, because I'm a glass half empty person, I'm gonna start with the bad first.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, I mean, so I've had issues with like stems and pulling things out of cigars and whatnot, and more often than not, when I first started out smoking, I was smoking a lot of Gurkhas, and there's like stems, trees, sticks. So like those are rough experiences, but like the only thing I can think of for like a really, really bad experience was I had bought the Judge by my father, and that was my 5th ever cigar that I smoked. We had talked about this last podcast. I think that was probably my worst experience because I was driving and I was not very well informed about cigars. I didn't have the circle and the base with people. No one was helping me through this. I was just kind of wandering, and I had smoked a cigar, and I was driving, and it made me so lightheaded that I had to like pull over to the side of the road, stop smoking. Like, I had to stop and just sit in my car for 15-20 minutes, get myself straight and figure out how to recover from this, drink a lot of water, whatever, and then drove home. I would say that's probably the worst experience. I haven't had a lot of bad experiences. Like, you, understandably, you've smoked a lot longer than I am, so you so that you have a lot more experiences. And then I'm also not picky about shit. I don't like the stems and things in cigars. It ruins the experience. I paid money for them. I get it, but I'm fucking...
Yeah, but you're smoking something shitty like Gurkha to start off with, like
and
a fucking Gurkha beauty, and then you get a chicken feather on top of that fucking shit.
Well, the chicken feather's gross as shit. But like, I've had people that like, it's hand rolled, so I have people that, you know, complain about like a bad draw, and that ruins their whole experience. And I know it's about the experience.
No, and that can ruin a good experience.
Oh, absolutely. But I'm also like, I don't know. Maybe I just don't care enough. I'm just kind of like, okay, cool. I'll go get another one. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Just fucking move on. But I had a dude yesterday cuss us out because we didn't have certain brands that he was looking for. Well, why do you even have a fucking lounge if you don't have these brands? And I was like,
you want to go back in there and look again, you
like,
little bitch?
Like, he named off, and then, like, some of them were okay, like Roma Craft and thing. He was probably the biggest name he threw out, and then some of the other ones were just kind of like really off-handed, random ones that were not like.
So was he mainly a boutique guy, and he was upset that there's not as much boutique here?
No, I don't. He was an older dude. I think it was just. Some of the other stuff, there was one that he said that I've never even heard of, so it was probably just like a really lower end. Like, he was probably looking for affordable, which we don't carry a ton of here.
We don't, yeah.
Roma Craft was the only one that was like a little bit more on that like 12 to 15 range. But like, he named off three brands to, I think it was Craig, and he goes, well, if you don't have anything I fucking want, why would you even open up a cigar lounge? I'm like, or why would you have a humidor? And I'm like, the hell is that supposed to be? That doesn't even make sense. And I'm like,
yes, everything exists around you.
Everything, like,
we're all NPCs. How can I help you? Fuck off, guy.
It's just people let things ruin. I understand the experience is what it's about, but like, dude, life's too fucking short to be a little cunt about everything.
Man, you're making me feel like it was my worst experience. Make me sound like a little bitch.
Yeah, you're a little cunt.
Fuck.
Sorry, maybe not that word. You're a little bitch.
No, we can go with cunt.
No,
I think I prefer cunt. It's a little
no,
more
the chicken feather is actually kind of fucking gross. Because you don't know if that bird was alive, dead.
Yeah, I don't know what
like,
the fuck.
The nail was not as bad. Actually, the guy wasn't even upset. He kind of laughed. He was like, what the fuck? I've never had anything like this happen. And I was like, yeah, I've never seen it happen before. But I guess, like, I get that there's probably, like, all it takes is a nail falling from a box or something. Like, I get it. The chicken feather, gross. I get it. I don't blame you. I'd be pissed.
So what's the best?
I'm going to be cheesy as shit. And I'm going to say I have two that are like my favorite experiences. So the first one is what I described last time when I first got into cigars. My dad saying, hey, let's go to a cigar lounge. And he took me to a cigar lounge, and I have never told him that I had smoked a cigar before, but so like he was just very enthusiastic, very excited. Got to sit down and smoke a cigar with my dad and his best friend that helped him get into cigars. So it was just like three dudes, or two guys introducing a newbie, quote unquote, to cigars and kind of just the excitement over getting another person into the group or another person into the tribe. So
it being with your pops too, that's
I think that was huge, and I think that's probably the one thing my dad and I bond the most on is like we both love history, but he's like a handyman, a car guy, woodworker, like he's that kind of guy. I've never had anything really to relate to him with that. I'm like the history nerd, science nerd, reading books and shit. So like cigars was the first thing that we both really are passionate about and we kind of connect on in that level. So it was just nice smoking with him at my first-ish cigar. And then my second experience is actually the first time I smoked a cigar, which is like me and my best friend since 4th grade. We're at a brew fest and he is out of his mind hammered and I am lightly buzzed, and we had picked up these cheap little, it's technically my first cigar experience. We picked these cheap little flavored cigars, and he got sick, lightheaded, threw up, and I chiefed 2 crappy flavored cigars. Like my first cigar was just a cheap Brewfest fucking $10-11 flavored cigar, probably overpriced, probably Swisher, I wouldn't be surprised. I chiefed 2 of those down perfectly fine, left the Brewfest completely sober, good, whatever, and he was a fucking catastrophe, and that was one of my favorite things.
You had a good time.
So it was more about the people more than the cigars, I think. For me, it was
well, that actually that kind of goes with the next thing we have on the list here is a memorable cigar session with friends, and that sounds like a good session you had there.
Yeah. So I got married in a cigar lounge. That's a whole ass story for another time. I think that was probably one of my favorite, because it was like the one time where I worked with everyone and we all smoked together on a pretty regular basis, even when we're not fucking working. Like, right. We go somewhere and smoke. But to be like, I was married by a guy that has a cigar brand, Charles, with Etsuniki. So he officiated our wedding. We were in a cigar lounge. We get married, and then we spend the rest of the fucking evening smoking cigars, drinking, eating, just all of the best things in life, all in one room, just celebrating. That was legit. I think that's my favorite experience with people and friends and family.
Yeah.
So
that's a good one. That's a damn good one. I mean, that's hard to top. You get married at a fucking cigar lounge.
Yeah, I got lucky
and being
on that
officiated by somebody who owns a brand too.
Yeah.
That's fucking dope. I'm sure you can guess what my favorite is.
The bath.
Yeah. Well, there were no friends except imaginary ones.
Oh, your right hand is your pretty close friend of yours.
Oh, Rosie Palm.
You can smoke with your left hand.
True that. Or I can just hold it in my mouth and use both hands.
Multitasking. Well, don't overcompensate here.
I like to exaggerate.
You can use your index and your thumb.
It makes me feel good. Every year, though, going out to New York.
Oh, yeah.
And smoking with my buddies out there, all the Discord guys from all over the country.
Shout out to the Discord guys.
Yeah, the Corojos.
The Corojos.
Fucking great guys. All of them are really great guys.
Well, some of them are shady, but...
Some of them are shady.
I'll let them guess which ones.
Me being one of them.
Yeah, fuck. Actually, fuck. Out of the Discord, you're probably the shadiest one now that I think about it. Fuck. I didn't even think of that.
Ta-da!
If you can't figure out who the shady one is, you're probably the shady one.
The first year going out there was fucking awesome, man. And planning it out, I was talked to my buddy Mike, who lives in Georgia. He's right outside Atlanta, and we figured out that the trip, so we're all gonna drive. My old lady's like, I didn't have a license. I still don't have a license.
Fucking degen.
She wasn't gonna drive me out there. I had to figure out how the fuck am I getting out there. I talked to my boy Mike, so he happens to be going through Chattanooga to head all the way out there. And I was
so
like,
she
fuck
drove to
it.
Chattanooga.
She drives me to Chattanooga. I meet
What a
up
good
with him.
wife.
She's my angel, man. But I met up with my buddy Mike out there, and we rode. It was a long drive, and every year we do it, and it's a long fucking drive. So it takes me 2 hours to get to Chattanooga to meet up with him, and then from there, me and him ride anywhere from fucking 12 to 14 hours, depending on if we stop, look at a lounge or whatnot. And riding with him is always a pleasure. It's amazing to me that we can actually bullshit for a whole 14 fucking hours.
Oh yeah.
But we're both pretty well separated with our jobs and everything. We don't talk as much throughout the year, but on that trip,
It's like a good catch up.
it's a very good catch up with him. And
Yeah, whenever you describe your adventure there, it always sounds like a good time.
it's a damn good time. And then getting there too, man, and seeing my boy Cowboy, Adam, Arnold, Trico, all these guys. I could name them all, but I won't go through them all. But seeing all these guys out there is fucking awesome.
But you could spend a whole podcast naming all the fuckers in that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people in that.
All really good dudes. It's fucking great smoking with them. They're all fucking hilarious. Great
All
personalities. Yup. And then, God, when we lay out all the cigars we bring on the fucking table and everything, you think that we fucking broke into a cigar factory and stole their shit.
Yeah.
With as many cigars as we all bring.
Well, the best part about that Discord is they're all on that level that you and I are on, where we kind of nerd out about cigars. So it's not, you could literally say bring cigars and not expect that there's going to be that one guy that just brings like 5 cigars for himself.
Yeah.
Like you say bring cigars, they're bringing boxes.
Yeah.
They're bringing packs of 15, 20.
Yep.
They're going
something for everybody to try they may not have tried, or
something for everyone to try 2 times over.
Yeah.
And it's like that's the kind of community you want to be in, is like people that, because this whole community is about sharing experiences and about everyone being excited and sharing something they discovered, and it's all about sharing. So like, granted, there are some exclusions to that, or some people that are not like that, but like you want to find those kind of people where it's like they're excited about this cigar, so they want everyone to be able to smoke
to
that
try it
twice,
Yep.
3 times, so that they can experience all the fun and all
and they
the things
and they don't get super bothered neither if you don't like something.
Yeah.
Because we all know it's a nuanced
It's all
thing.
subjective,
It's
yeah.
subjective. But yeah, that's the sharing aspect is fucking awesome. I love getting stuff that I'm like, wow, this is fantastic, and sharing it with fucking homeboys. And all them guys are like that too. So every year, New York, that is
The sleeping
always
situation's
memorable.
weird because you all have to spoon each other.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
figure it out.
it's a great way to stay warm. Upper New York weather,
I
it
got
gets
fucking
fucking
tell
chilly,
me.
bro.
Yeah, no shit.
Yep. So
I was raised in that.
spooning with them guys is fantastic.
Spooning with the homies.
Yep, spooning with the homies.
We should have called our podcast that. Spooning with the
Spooning
homies.
with the homies. Oh fuck. Yeah, it's great, man. And it's fucking, you make a joke about spooning. We don't fucking do that. But it's like, it is all very tight quarters. Guys are out there in tents. There's a few rooms. Guys will sleep on several couches, the floor.
There is some spooning. It's just not all of it.
Yeah, it's by accident if it does occur. It's not a purposeful thing.
Accidental 69.
That's the thing. Look it up.
Hey,
Google it.
docking's docking.
Good God.
No, it does sound like a blast, except for all the homoeroticism. But it's every time you describe it, I'm like, shit, I want to be a part of that. It's, I mean, to have, and that's something you and I have talked about, like, doing here, to have that Discord, I mean, hundreds and hundreds of people on there, isn't it?
Well, it was. We've trimmed quite a
Narrowed it
bit.
down.
There were a lot of lurkers that would just read shit, or
Including
occasionally.
me.
Well, I'll keep you on there, but there were a lot of lurkers on there.
I mean, but to have...
You might get trimmed, though, if you don't say something, because I think we do put, like, a time limit where you get cut after a certain amount of time.
Well, fuck. Yeah, I think with having a community like that, it's crazy awesome. Like, to find people that are like-minded in this. Everyone that smokes cigars, you can smoke cigars and not be a nerd about it. The amount of people, I mean, we have a dude here that spends absorbent amounts of money, like insane amounts of money here, but you can genuinely tell when he's smoking a cigar, when he's not in it like we are. He's not looking up the blend. He's not like passionate about it. He's smoking to smoke a cigar because he likes smoking cigars.
Yeah. Now, even beyond the blend, I mean, we nerd out to where we want to know who the fuck blended it, where the fuck it was blended, I mean, why it was fucking blended.
That whole Discord is just dudes that are passionate about cigars, and everyone's curious to know the whole story, not just half-assing it. They want to know the blender. I mean, you've told me times before where it's like, you guys get a hold of one of the blenders and try to get them onto the Discord so you can talk to them. Like, that's intense. That's what it needs to be. People need to be more passionate about their hobbies.
Yeah. Well, they don't need to be. They can be, and it's great that if you decide to be, that there's places like that for you. You know? Because I can appreciate the guy that just wants to have a stogie over here or there.
I mean, you and I have been that. Like, there's sometimes we just want to smoke a cigar just to smoke a cigar. I don't need to always nerd out on it, but I think on a regular basis, even if it's something that we've had a million times before, we always try to find something else out about it.
Yeah.
It also doesn't help that sometimes it's boring as shit here, so that kind of fuels us trying to find new stuff and get excited about stuff. So,
started to do this thing where we just let people ask questions, because some people. So since the first episode we've done, people have taken some interest, and they've got some questions they'd like us to answer and stuff. So I figured I'd run through some questions while we got a bit of time remaining here. Is that Craig out there in the truck?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll make him wait.
Absolutely. I ain't letting no one in early. Hey, we remembered to lock the door this time. That's just a big deal.
Notice there's nobody like, oh shit, 12 o'clock?
Oh, man.
All right, so, and I think I may also, if I can figure out a way to put this on Spotify, let people on Spotify that are listening ask questions, or somewhere on YouTube perhaps. I'm going to figure out another way, but for now...
we're still learning.
We're still learning, and I'm getting questions from guys on Discord that are interested in what we're doing. So let's run through some of these questions to see what we can answer. Brent asks, what's the difference in smoking cigars versus stogies versus sticks versus pole? You want me to go first?
I think it depends on what kind of bath you got set up.
Yeah, for sure. I'll say that smoking a cigar, the difference between smoking a cigar is a cigar you're just sitting, it's something you relax with. A stogie is something that your papa enjoyed, that he didn't think about too much. A stick is something a cigar nerd says to not sound pretentious. And then pole is a whole other commitment.
Pole is typically an evening at Adamstock.
Nope.
I'm just fucking with you.
Well, $20 is $20, like
is-
my boy John would say.
Hey, in fairness, if it gets you a free cigar, yeah, I mean yeah, I have nothing. I don't know what to say about it.
I think I answered that pretty well.
All but one of them is the same.
Yeah.
One of them is.
Hold on, guys. I'm gonna go smoke this pole at the lodge.
I would, if someone came in here, I'd kick them out.
We gotta, we should actually try doing
pull
that.
here?
Yeah. We should try to get that trending to people that don't know any better. And
Yeah,
at the
just,
lounge,
you
oh, bro, what do you mean a cigar?
This
Hey,
is,
we've been calling it pole for a long time now.
This
Hey,
is-
you want to smoke some pole?
It's the new hip thing.
Yeah.
All
What, you
these-
didn't know?
All these younger kids that'll come in here that are like just fresh 21. You have to be 21 to come in here. The ones that yesterday, there's like 2 or 3 that come in. I literally don't know if they've been through puberty yet. They're just 21.
So here's how we'll do it. When they bring their cigars up,
well, those are
we'll
some
be like,
sweet
that's a good
pulls.
pole. Yeah, that's a nice pole there. Oh, fuck, man, I really enjoy this
That's
pole.
4 good pulls.
Then they'll be like, hey, yeah, pole,
it'll
cool,
be
thumbs
the-
up, yeah, and they're telling their homeboys,
Enjoy your pole.
Smoking a pole, bro, what are you doing? You smoking a pole?
I think we're on to something here. This was supposed to be to get people into cigars. Now we're just screwing with them the entire time. Get them into cigars by turning it into a dick euphemism.
Yep. All right.
All right.
Adam asks, can you guys do a top 3 under 20 and maybe a top 3 over 20, or maybe do a budget banger under 10 for people that don't like to spend too much?
I already got a budget banger under 10. I'm literally trying to get a box of these. The Jaime Garcia Green.
Yeah, you keep
I
bringing that
keep
up.
bringing that up.
I really wanna try
honestly, I love the Jaime Garcia Blue. I think it's called a Vegas Cubana.
Mm-hmm.
The Jaime Garcia Green, I was getting them for like eight and some change. I would say that's a pretty good banger for under 10 easily. That's the first one. As soon as I heard that, you reading that question, that
Came to mind.
is the first cigar that came to mind.
For me, budget banger is probably the HVC Cero.
Oh yeah.
You can find them oftentimes at a discount on many sites online, but if you're not getting them at a discount, I mean the thicker ring gauge is like $9. The Toro is like $8. The little guys are like $6 a piece. The petite Coronas.
I got another good one for you. What is so guilty pleasure cigar? Like one that's so cheap and it's just a cigar that you feel dirty telling anyone that you smoke, but you really enjoy. Like your guilty pleasure cheapo cigar.
Oh, I don't know if I have one of those.
I know what mine is.
Let me hear
Baccarat.
Oh, Baccarat?
I love Baccarats.
Yeah?
I don't know what it is about it. I think it's just like it's a Honduran, like a Cuban seed Honduran. It's just consistent. That yeah, it has a sweetened cap that goes away like in a minute. I just like that cigar. Every time I smoke it, I'm like, shit. It's only like $7 for a Churchill.
Yeah.
Or even the 60 ring gauge is about $7. But it's like,
I mean, I guess there's like a few, like some of the original Diesel line.
I know a lot of people really like the factory smokes as like their
Yeah, I
They're
can stand
jam.
those.
I can't
I
either.
fucking tried. I tried. I even had the sweet tip ones. They're all fucking terrible.
Yeah.
I can't stand those. No. Man, I don't really have one. I mean, like now, if you're talking like a dog walker, I think one of the best dog walkers you can get for $3, even sometimes $1.20 a stick, is the Aganorsa releases them, the new Cuba. I don't know.
Oh
if
yeah,
you've
those
ever
aren't
had
bad.
Those
aren't
are
bad.
pretty fucking good.
And that would be I mean, but you can find new Cubas like a bigger size of those for fairly cheap. Not
Fairly
bad.
cheap. Yeah, $3 for a Churchill. I mean, it's fucking.
So that's a good guilty pleasure smoke.
I wouldn't say that's guilty though, because I just don't hear of anybody smoking them. So I wouldn't be embarrassed to tell anybody that that's what I'm fucking smoking.
I mean, there are people that smoke Baccarats, like older dudes that smoke Baccarats, but like.
What's one I've heard? Like, I've heard, like, people have a guilty pleasure smoking, Dutch Masters or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
The Dutch Masters.
And apparently those are really fucking good.
Never had one.
I've never had one either. But that's, like, something you might be embarrassed to smoke, but I've heard they're pretty good. I may try a Dutch Master or something.
And then it was top 3 over 20, top 3 under 20?
Top 3 over 20, top 3 under 20. I made a joke on there when he mentioned that it'll likely be the under 20 will be a $19 stick and the over 20 will be a $21 stick.
Probably. Also, let's put a caveat on it. Don't. Oh no, maybe not. I was gonna say don't include Davidoff. Like, don't include like the obvious choices of over 20. But then again, that's all subjective.
Well, I can easily do over 20. Like right now, the Mayura M Bombay Mayura, which is like $40 a stick for the Toro. The Byron Poemas, or my favorite is the Petite Poemas, which is still like $27 a stick. What was the third one? Son of a bitch. The Red Anchor, or the fucking Padron 1926 90 natural.
Over the Red Anchor?
I would put that over the Red Anchor for me.
Then you would go Red Anchor?
Then I would go Red Anchor, but that's foreign also. But yeah, over 20. For under 20, in which I'm gonna, to avoid being like $19 a stick, I'm gonna say 10 to 15 a stick.
Yeah, I mean, there are some under 20 where they're, like for me, Don Carlos, $15, $16 stick. I would say that's in my top 3 for under 20. I think it's like an underrated. So I think it should be more than
I actually agree with you. That is a very good pick.
So that's
the
one of my
Bandolero.
Bandolero.
Either the green band or the red band. The red band's my favorite.
Any of the bands, I like all of them.
Yeah.
I think all of them.
All of them are. All 3 of those Bandoleros could be the fucking 3 under 20.
Absolutely. Don Carlos is a big one. I really think that.
Tatuaje has a lot of fantastic stuff.
Tatuaje has a lot of good stuff. I like a lot of Espinosa stuff, and that's in that $10 to $15 range.
My buddy turned me on to Espinosa's Alibi.
Yeah.
And I think those are like $8 or $9 a stick, but man, are they fucking... Those are really good in my opinion. They don't always have a super consistent burn.
Yeah.
But the flavor totally makes up for that.
Fuck. I mean, as weird as it is, I feel like under 20 is easier to find good bangers
than
that
over
range. I think with over, and we've talked about this before, where it's like, for me, I think like that $50-$60 mark is that point where you start to be able to you can taste the difference between a $10, $50, all the way up to 50 or 60.
Right.
Once you get past 50 and 60, there's a lot of cigars that are like, it's not worth it. I get, like, no offense to El Septimo, I like some of their blends, but holy shit, some of those prices are astronomical for what those are.
Since you brought up El Septimo, there's something that came to mind the other day, and it actually I have a huge gripe with that brand, and I feel like I should go ahead and bring it up since we're doing a fucking podcast here. But since you brought them up, their price point is ridiculous for what they have, and it upsets me because it's like what you said, they do have some good stuff. Mm-hmm. They've got some bangers in their repertoire, but way too overblown on their price. Mm-hmm. Ridiculously priced. I mean, you guys put out a fucking, what you call a shotgun for $75 fucking dollars. A shotgun shell. Mm-hmm. Small cigar, like a Petite Robusto, even smaller than a Petite Robusto. You charge $75. The thing that makes me even more angry about that fucking brand, though, is not beyond them having the price point. It's that they're utilizing fantastic Costa Rican tobacco, which I love. I've come to really enjoy Costa Rican tobacco.
Yeah.
They utilize it a lot. There's companies that do it better at a much lower price.
Yeah.
And you guys are doing it while you do have good stuff. It's too much, and you're giving Costa Rica a bit of a bad name on their tobacco with the way you're pricing it.
I mean, yeah, Atabey, Byron, both are at least $20 less than most of their stuff.
Yeah,
and
they blow you out the fucking water. So, fuck El Septimo, get your fucking shit together. Stop trying to be some fancy pants. If you're going to continue to do that, I don't know, go sell jets, dude. Just fuck off.
Go sell jets. I transitioned from cigars to jet sales.
Well, I think that's what that guy does, doesn't it? I mean,
I don't know.
The owner is like, he owns like big real estate companies and shit. So I think that's what he does. And again, get the fuck out of the cigar industry, because you're making what should be accessible and because in my belief, I believe that Costa Rican tobacco can get the notoriety of something like Nicaraguan tobacco.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
The more and more people are utilizing it, the more and more I think the
it's closer to Cuban profile.
I think so, and I think the more people realize that, and it's accessible to more people, it will get up there and be a very sought after tobacco.
I mean, for me, top 3. Senator is still one of my favorite cigars from Foundation. The Senator is...
What's the price point on those now with the new release? Still about $30?
Yeah, it's like 30 to 35, depending on who's selling them, I guess.
That's not bad.
That's still one of my favorite cigars. That hits all of my notes. I'm a big Ecuadorian tobacco dweeb. I mean, anything that has an Ecuadorian tobacco in it, I find that I end up liking. And I feel like a lot of companies, I find it really rare that a company will fuck up an Ecuadorian tobacco. Maybe on occasion, but like for the most part, anytime I have an Ecuadorian wrapped cigar or anything with Ecuadorian in it, it's good. So I really like that cigar. That's my number one. When someone asks what my favorite cigar is, that's usually what I say. I've been really on I'm going to be that guy and say a Davidoff cigar. I've been really on that Grand Cru Diadema where it's aged in French wine barrels.
It's about $50 a stick,
right?
But it's
58.
It's 58, but it's worth that 58.
Mm-hmm.
It's one that, like, you may not get a box of them, but even getting one at that $58, it's worth paying and sitting there and smoking it and giving it your full.
I mean, that's a cigar you liked.
I liked it, yeah.
And you're not a light smoker.
Yeah, I don't like light. Well, I can enjoy light if the flavor's there.
Yeah.
The regular Grand Cru
is not
there.
No, that's actually my least favorite Davidoff.
Yeah,
I think that's why this stood out so much, and I would say it's probably my second choice for over 20 is Davidoff took a cigar that out of all of Davidoff's cigars was my least favorite. I'm not a cedar guy. Cedar is like I'm coming around to it, but cedar, if I see cedar, I will usually pick something else, even if it's not a very prominent note. They took my least favorite Davidoff cigar and they took that filler, they aged it in wine barrels, and yeah, it still has a cedar note, but the amount of flavor and the pop of just flavor is phenomenal.
There's like a cherry note in there.
Yeah, and it completely took a cigar that I wouldn't rate very highly and turned it into a cigar that I'm obsessed with right now. I've been selling everyone on it. So I would say that's probably my 2. And then, can I say Black Ritos? Black Ritos from Atabey.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you can get your hands on it.
Yeah, Costa Rican and
Peruvian.
This
is something more accessible for people, though. I mean...
Yeah, something more accessible. I mean, you could go any of the Samurai. I mean, the Samurai Green I've been pretty hot on. That was last podcast smoke.
Yeah.
Samurai Green or even the red. I'm really big on the red, the Corojo Samurai.
I need to revisit that because that Sumatra, when I smoked that that one really set well with me, and I've been smoking that one mainly over all the others. I don't like the blue, but that purple.
I like the blue. It has to be my first cigar. It's very nuanced. It's very delicate profile. That has to be a first cigar, but when I smoking it in the Lancero really changed my opinion on it because you get more flavor out of that Lancero. So I like the blue. Still my last favorite on San Perez catalog, but yeah, I mean, and then I thought of another one under 20 since I'm watching you smoke a Placensia. The
Original Reserve.
The Original Reserve's phenomenal, but I was gonna go the Campo. I think that Campo is really good.
It's not one that I enjoy.
Yeah,
but I can see why people enjoy that smoke. It's not really my wheelhouse. It's a bit too light for me.
I think out of all the Placencias, that's the one that gets bought the least. I think there's one or two dudes that buy it consistently here, but
I do try to turn guys onto it that like a milder smoke, but still want something that's going to give them a little more bang for their buck.
Yeah,
because I think that Campo does do that. It's just not for me. So I do try to turn guys onto that. If they're looking for something light, they tend to like Nicaraguan flavor profiles, just not with spice. And that is one where I'm like, well, you want to enjoy this with a good cup of coffee or something, this one will do it for you.
What was the going off of this, the ratings for this year, the was it Cigar Aficionado that did the judge?
Yeah, that was Cigar of the Year.
That was Cigar of the Year.
The specific size too. I think it was that short. It was like a Robusto, but it's got a 60 ring gauge. It's a thicker one.
2 questions. A, is that a number 1 cigar of any year? B, where does it rank for you? Like, if we had to pick, like, we're talking about bangers under 20.
So my father, the judge, the number 1 cigar. To me, it's not a number 1 cigar of the year. It's a lot of pepper, a lot of earth, and I remember when it was released, and I was actually really looking forward to it. It's another one of them cigars that I had high expectations, and I felt like I was let down by it.
I will say try the thicker ring gauge. I think the thicker ring gauge, that's one of those cigars where the thicker ring gauge helps a little bit. It's still got spice. It's with that thicker ring gauge, it kind of stretches it out a little bit so that you get a little more of a coffee note with that earthiness. It is good. It's not a number 1 cigar.
If I was to rank that, I mean, out of all the cigars I've smoked in my fucking life,
yeah,
my father, the judge, and let's just say I've smoked, I don't know, what, 300 different types of cigars throughout my life here. That cigar is probably going to go high 200s, like 250. It's not something I reach for ever. There's so many other My Father cigars I would reach for over that.
Yeah. And, so if we're talking about bangers under, we're talking about bangers under $20, I honestly can't think where I would put that. You know what I mean? Like in all honesty, I could think of probably 20 other cigars under 20 that I like.
Way more than that.
It's good. It is a really good cigar. But when I see those kind of rankings and those kind of ratings, it's tough to take them fully seriously. Like, for the entire year of all these new cigars that came out, a cigar that's been existing gets number 1. I mean, I don't know. It's I find it hard. Sometimes I see these ratings and it's just it's hard to take them seriously when things like that.
I think most people know, though. I think the cat's out of the bag.
Oh yeah, I mean,
most people know that these are paid spots. They're scratch my back, I'll scratch your back.
wasn't it Brick House was in the top 10 too?
Yeah, Brick House.
Like Senator fell
and
out of it.
It was kind of fucking hilarious because it was all like mainstay brands that are in the top 10, and then in the top 25. From 11 on is where the boutique was.
Yeah.
And where Half Wheels, I feel like Half Wheels does a good mix of both. Where Half Wheel does also pay a bit more attention to boutique, in my opinion. Half Wheels was kind of the opposite, where it was a fuck ton of boutique, and then more mainstay in the after 11 onward.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. I those rankings. I wish there was a fair ranking.
It's really weird to me because it's also, why the fuck isn't this based on cigars that came out this year or within the last 2 years?
Oh, that too. Oh, maybe what we should do is, obviously not, this is the beginning of the year, but if we keep this going, at the end of the year, do our own rating where we're not getting paid or sponsored or funded by anyone.
What we smoked throughout the year.
What we smoked throughout the year, our top dogs. Or not even, it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't have to be the year. It can be the past 2 years. But like our top dogs from that, just like an unbiased kind of
review. Yeah, we should do that. I think we'll keep this going.
Yeah, I mean, anyone that has suggestions of things we should do, I'm always open to. I know we have more questions, but we're running out of time.
Yeah.
So
this was a pretty good session here.
It was productive.
If you sat through this whole fucking thing, thank you. I appreciate you. I'll figure out where you can leave questions. The moment I do, you may spot it on Spotify or YouTube. Or ask more questions on fucking Discord. But thanks for checking us out, motherfuckers. Boom.